Trent Alexander-Arnold is finally leaving Liverpool for Real Madrid. The long-rumored move appears to be happening, and people are not happy about it. Does he owe Liverpool more than this? Is he leaving him out to dry? And should that be his problem? We're going to talk about that next, here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub. Does Trent Alexander-Arnold owe Liverpool anything at this point? That's the question I want to talk about today. We can talk at other times. It's been discussed ad nauseum whether, how Liverpool ended up in this situation with three of their best players running out of contract, and is this the right move for Trent Alexander-Arnold? Is he overrated? Is he underrated? He's one of the most polarizing players in all of European football. Those are discussions for another day. What I want to know is, does he owe Liverpool more than leaving on a free and essentially having them get nothing out of all of his time there? Because that's the opinion a lot of Liverpool supporters are taking today, and it doesn't seem quite fair. After all, he didn't give them nothing. He gave them almost a decade of service, trophies in every competition imaginable. You couldn't have asked for his career to this point to be going much better, and yet it's ending on what appears to be quite a sour note. So this is not a video where I'm going to have a hard and fast opinion. I want to discuss this, and I want your thoughts and your opinions, whether you are a Liverpool supporter, whether you're a neutral here, if you're a Real Madrid supporter. This is a big day for you guys, but I do want some back and forth in this video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for me down below if you don't already follow the channel. Get in that comment section. Let me know what you think. I really would like to get some varying opinions on this. I will give you my thoughts, but I think this has a lot of different angles to it. So get in that comment section. Let me know what you think. You can also leave comments on Twitter and Blue Sky at Pitchside Pub, and check out the website pitchsidepub.com. So, not every Liverpool fan is angry, right? There are a lot of good, mild-headed Liverpool fans out there who are basically saying, hey, we got 8 years of this guy, it was great, hometown kid, we loved him while we had him, and, yeah, it sucks and it's a sad day, but best of luck. And the sad feeling is right, particularly when it's a homegrown kid from the Liverpool area, his boyhood club. I mean, it is sad that he is leaving and that he's not going to be a one-club type player for his entire career. That's sad, even as a neutral here who doesn't have a dog in this fight. That's a sad day. I like seeing that. I have Phil Foden hanging behind me. I hope he never leaves Manchester City as a Manchester, Stockport-born kid. That would be a devastating day, more so than other players, right? Players come and go, and that happens. But when it's one of your boyhood, your academy players that's been with him, he's from there, and he sounds like the fans, and it's sad. It's sad. So those feelings are 100% justified, and I'm not here to tell you that those are wrong. But the anger and the vitriol being spewed at Trent Alexander-Arnold at this point is really ugly. And it is not the whole fan base. I want to credit, I think Liverpool fans have always been somewhat reasonable, at least in my experiences with them, at least on the spectrum of European football fans. Obviously, there's a passion there, but you're not Arsenal fans, let's put it that way. You're not Manchester United fans, let's put it that way. There's been a more reasoned level head in my discussions and interactions with most Liverpool fans, up until the last 24 hours. And some true colors are coming out. Again, not across the board. There are plenty of level-headed Liverpool fans who seem to have the right approach here, but there are some who are very, very angry with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and most of it stems not as much from his leaving as the fact that he's leaving on a free, and that they are going to get nothing out of him. And that's the question I want to talk about today is, why is that his problem? Why is that his problem? Is that Trent Alexander-Arnold's problem? Does he have some sort of obligation to the club to allow them to benefit from his departure, to make that money back, to sell him and get a big transfer fee? Because let's face it, if he had 4 years left on his contract and they were selling him on the transfer market, he'd be, what do we think he would go for? Get in the comment section and let me know that. I would say upwards of 100 million, close to it, maybe 80, 90 million. He's 26 years old. He's in his prime. He's one of the best right backs in the world. He's certainly among the top 2 or 3 attacking-minded right backs in the world. You can talk about his defense all you want, but what he brings to an attack is certainly elite of the elite world-class level. So they would get a massive sum for him if they were selling him. But, Liverpool takes some of the blame for getting in that position in the first place, along with Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. And yes, there have been some extenuating circumstances as they let these players get closer to the expiration of their contracts. It gets harder and harder to sign them. That, coupled with a changeover at manager and some uncertainty there, certainly led to, I would assume, some hesitancy on those players to re-sign contracts. They didn't know if Arne Slot was going to be great, if they were going to like him, that they were going to be winning the Premier League at this point. So the uncertainty makes everybody pause, and so there were some extenuating circumstances, but it is at least in part on Liverpool for allowing these situations to get to this point. Now, I'm not sure there's anything Liverpool could have done once Trent Alexander-Arnold made his mind up that he wanted to, experience something else and play for Real Madrid. I'm not sure there was anything Liverpool could have done. And so at that point, you just sort of say, okay, well, the club tried, but this was going to be a done deal. And that's part of, I think, why so many folks are mad at Trent Alexander-Arnold, because why would he want to leave? This is his boyhood club. Well, there is still an allure to playing for Real Madrid. They are an all-time great club. They are probably the most prestigious club in all of Europe, which, I mean, it has to say something, because it's not like you're leaving a small club without a history. He's not leaving Southampton here. Sorry to take cheap shots at Southampton, but this is Liverpool. This is one of the most prestigious clubs in the world as well. But Real Madrid's on a different level. They have been for decades, and they still remain there today. And also just the experience of playing somewhere new. For everyone who wants to make the argument that this was his boyhood club and why would he leave his home, imagine if you had never left home. And maybe some people never do, but there's a reason why people go away to college. And then maybe they come back, but they go away and experience new things. Or if they go to college at home, then they move and go experience things elsewhere. The world is full of different experiences. He's now going to live in Madrid with better weather and new cultures and different food and all this sort of stuff in life that he's never really experienced on a regular basis, because he's born and raised in Merseyside, in Liverpool, in that area. So you have to understand his desire to do that and to experience something new. There's some understanding there. But the argument that I've seen is that, the vitriol really is because he is leaving on a free and they're getting nothing out of him. And, I'm not sure why fans feel like he has some obligation to the club when clubs so often cast out players who aren't performing and don't treat them in the same way. We all want the players to have the same love for the jersey, for the crest, for the emblem, for the club, for the team that we have as fans. But they don't. It is a business. Now, you can wonder if maybe he has a little more of that inclination, that feeling, because he grew up there and is from the area. But once you're in the business for that long, it really does become a business. And that is the thing that fans forget the most. And fans are so passionate, and I don't ever want to diminish anyone's passion, right? Passionate fans are why we do this, and that's what makes it so amazing. And I'm a passionate fan of so many things, but you have to keep a reasoned head and understand that it is in fact a business, and that once the players are involved for so long, once you cross the gate, once you cross the ropes, once you go inside and you're on the pitch and you're part of it, whether you are a player, a coach, an administrator, a trainer, a decision maker, anything, even just the support staff in HR and marketing, all that stuff. Once you're on the inside, it is different. It is different, and you see a more reasoned, rational side of things, and you have to understand that. I've been on that side in other sports, and it does take away from some of your passion, and it does diminish it to a certain extent, but that should help you realize why the players sometimes make these decisions. It's not about passion. It's not about the doing it for the fans. It's what's best for them, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has a chance to, frankly, make more money and achieve more glory. I don't know how many people, once they're in that situation, would pass that up. And fans tend to say, well, how much more money does he need? Well, if you were being offered, $4 million more a year, which is about what it looks like is happening. He makes around 11 and change a year at Liverpool. Reports have him making, about 15 a year there. Would you turn down an extra $4 million a year over the next 5 years? That's $20 million. You turning that down? I think you're a liar if you say yes, just because you want to play for the club that you grew up at. No, I think you'd trade that jersey in a heartbeat. Not to mention, by leaving on a free, he is due for a substantial additional payday. The reports are saying that his signing bonus is going to be, around the size of a transfer fee. Well, his transfer fee would have been substantial, and maybe he's not getting $100 million from them, but you have to assume that is well into 8 figures. 20, 30, $40 million signing bonus that, if he wasn't leaving on a free, and if Real Madrid had to pay 80, 90, 100 million euros to Liverpool, he's not getting that signing bonus because they've got to pay Liverpool. So by making this a free, he's getting a massive, massive life-changing payday. And yes, I know he's already a millionaire and he's already wealthy at 26, but we're talking 30, 40, 50 million pounds, euros. We don't even know how much it is, but it's unbelievable amounts of money that all these fans who are getting so angry about can't even fathom, and none of you, I'm sorry if you say you would, you are a liar, you would not turn it down. So it's really hard to blame him and call him a rat and call him all these names that I'm seeing online, blaming him for leaving them high and dry when, first of all, they've known this is coming. This has been rumored for years now, a year and a half, or so. And it's not his obligation to help his club make money. He gave you 8 great years. He won you a Champions League. He won you a Premier League title. He's winning you a second as we speak. He has achieved everything you could possibly ask him to achieve. He has met his obligation. At the end of the day, these players are under a contract to play football in exchange for money. And he has done that. And he has done that to the best of his ability. And he has done that very, very well. And he does not have an obligation beyond that. It is not his job to exit in a way that helps the club make money. That is not part of his obligation. And especially when doing so would cost him money in the form of this signing bonus that he's getting. So any anger at that is misguided, right? So when I say, do you have a right to be upset about this, Liverpool fans? Well, yes, of course, sad and upset and devastated that your player is leaving. But to be mad at him for not setting the club up to replace him, that's not his problem. That is not his problem at all in any way, shape, or form. And if you think players think like that, you are vastly out of touch with the way players see themselves as an asset and as part of a business. And that's what it comes down to. Look at the way Chelsea runs. They treat their players like assets. It's not great. It's not great. And there has to be a happy medium in there, but that's really the reality of the situation. And every club sees it that way. They see Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, to a lesser extent because he's not as old, but the first two as diminishing assets. And do they run the risk of extending them just to not lose them on a free and possibly get stuck with an aging player who can't perform anymore? That's the situation with the other two. Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't have that issue, but he clearly had one foot out the door for a while there, yet to his credit has still played hard and played well. It's not like he has mailed it in this season because he knows he's going to go somewhere else. He's played hard for you. That's his obligation. He still had a year left on this contract. He is obligated to play and play his best, and he has done that. He has met his obligation. So if you want to be upset that he was supposed to be the boyhood idol that's from the area and played at his academy club and that he's now wanting to go experience other things, okay, I understand feeling a little attacked from that, particularly if you are from Liverpool and you've never left and this is what you love and what you know. But I can't even get mad at him for that because people want to experience new things. But if you are mad at Trent Alexander-Arnold for not helping Liverpool recoup some of his value, I'm sorry, you are massively out of touch with the fact that football is a business and that all of pro sports are a business. And frankly, this isn't new. This has been going on for decades now. Decades. It is a business. They would cast him aside just as quickly if he did not perform. If they gave him a big contract and he did not live up to it, they'd put him out on loan, they'd force his hand, they'd force a trade, they'd bench him. Clubs have done this all over. Chelsea's done it. Manchester United has done it. Manchester City has done it. If you don't live up to your contract, Barcelona has done it. If you don't live up to your contract, you don't get any loyalty from the club. So why? Why should a player give any loyalty back to the club when they've lived up to their end of the bargain? It's just not how it works. I understand fans want every player to be as passionate about the jersey as they are, but it's just not reality. It's just not reality. So if you want to be upset about him leaving, that's fair. You want to be sad, even if you want to be a little angry of the fact that he is going to another big club when he was at a big club. I understand that. I get that. but the name calling, the vitriol, and the completely ignoring all of the success he's had and acting like none of that matters now because he has done this one thing. You're the one with the expectation problem. You are the one that is not living in reality, and you're going to set yourself up for a lot of disappointment over the years. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Get down in that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. I know there's a lot of opinions out on this. I would really love to hear all of them. Get down in that comment section. Let me know what you think. You can also leave comments on Twitter and Blue Sky at Pitchside Pub. While you're at it, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me down below so you can follow the channel, and check out the website pitchsidepub.com. Thanks as always for joining us here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub.